Here we are today down in the veggie garden. I'll show you what I do to grow the food that I eat. No pesticides, no chemicals, nothing. It's all natural. I use rainwater for the irrigation. We pull the weeds by hand. We make our own soil. We do our own mulch. The only thing I do is I buy plants at the farmer's market. So my tomato plants that are here, I buy them already started. But the other stuff that you see I grew from seeds, except for the blueberries, I bought them as plants in a little pot. But since I've had them, no chemicals, all natural. So today finds me down in the garden. I've been asked by a few friends why I do so well with the crops that I grow. So I've set up a bit of an experiment just to show what's going on. There's 4 patches here. So I've got one over here, one here, third one there, and the 4th one just there. Now, these 2 here are the same, and these 2 here are the same. Same seeds planted at the same time, same amount of water, obviously in the same bed, so they get the same weather conditions. The only difference is one side's covered in grass. Now this is long cut grass, so it's long strands. We cut it, leave it out in the field, let it dry for a while, then rake it up and bring it in, so it's not rotting in here with moisture like green cut grass. Your normal lawn clippings out of your catcher won't work, you've got to dry them out. So over here we got nice long growth on this one, and over here not much at all. Same with this. This has come up real nice, getting a lot out of it. Not much over here, a bit of a showing, but not a good effort there. Now with the long cut grass, what I'm doing, I've modified the mowers to have no lift blades, and we just go out and mow, leave the grass where it lays. When it comes out of the mower, it just cuts it off and lays it straight out on the ground. Leave it out for a few days, get some sun on it, get it dried out, and then just rake it up. And these are loose, this is not packed in, this is just loose here. Just throw it on top, just place it around. It keeps the moisture in on top of the soil, so you don't get all that evaporation, so the plants get the use of the water that gets put in there. Stops the heat getting into the soil, stops your roots getting fried. I'm using rainwater. I have a couple of tanks up at the house that are catching water. Then I just fill this tank up every time it gets low. I siphon one of the other tanks into this one. Then we just use the hose here and basically just flood out the garden beds. I just put a lot of water on there. Now the water I'm using obviously is rainwater, but we don't get the leaves out of it or anything else like that. We just leave it in there. It's nutrient rich water that way with all the biological matter in there. It's our strawberries. They've been going for a couple of years. They just keep coming on back. Got quite a few good strawberries out of there this year. There's the tomato plants we just finished putting in. They've just been put in and watered in. Haven't got the grass down on them yet. Give it a couple of days and we'll get some grass in there. I just cut it. It's out in the field right now, drying out. This is the blueberry plants. Check out the berries on that one. That's the best we've done so far. We've got the netting up on there to keep the birds out, so we get some berries this time. Now we started off just with one bed. We made out an area and I put a fence around it to keep the deer out. And each year we've just added more and added more, so we end up with another bed and another bed, more soil. We added this one this year. This is just an old box that got repurposed to be a bed. There's one here that put this in a couple of years ago. Just some old pieces of metal that I found. Good to use for a low bed. This is our new one for this year. It's a packing crate that's been repurposed into a raised bed. I do them all the same. I use the weed barrier cloth on the sides and the bottom, and then fill. Even though this is a deep box, the bottom half is filled with clippings and plants and stuff. Our plants we pulled from last year are in the bottom of this. Some grass clippings, and then we put some average soil in on top of that, and then we put our good soil in on for the top layer. So this is soil that we made, or we had a hand in making. We have a drain on the property that collects leaves and junk like that, and at the end of it we have a sump pit that I've put there, and everything ends up in there. We just add other stuff to it, other leaves and clippings from around the property, and after a while we have soil in there, and just each year we go up and dig out what we can and clear that out and use it to make a garden bed. So you can see there's a lot of sticks in here, there's other bits and pieces, so it's not clean soil. We did sift it a bit, I put it through a sifter, and that's what we got out, all these sticks and bits and pieces. Now this is all natural stuff that washed down over the last year, bits of trees and stuff from on the property. As our fruit trees, same thing, they get the grass treatment, it holds the moisture in, makes them do better, and as it decomposes it provides nutrients into the soil at the same time. We just keep topping that up and put more grass on it, just keep watering it in. It's an apple tree, the ground's still wet. That was watered a couple of hours ago, but we usually water every day. On the side of the garden we have the chickens. This is one of our portable chicken houses. Getting this set up and ready for a hen with chicks. I've got a couple of hens sitting on nests right now. Hopefully I'll have some baby chicks in a couple of weeks, but one of them will get to be in that. This is just basically a pallet with a box built on top of it, a couple of cupboard doors for the doors. Went to the thrift store, found a wheelchair. It was $10, so I bought that and got the wheels off it. Makes it easier to wheel the thing around. It's basically just old materials that I found laying around, except I bought the chicken wire, obviously some nice chicken wire on there. Got a strap on the front just to pick it up and tow it by. Just pick it up off the ground so the front's off the ground and wheel it to a new location so they have some fresh ground under there. This is the more permanent chicken house. Same thing, another wheelchair wheels from a thrift store, some other bits and pieces. It's actually a dog cage and another pallet with a house built on it. Now we used to let our chickens out and run free. We had quite a few chickens like that, but after several dog attacks we ended up with no chickens, so we ended up having to build a dog-proof cage for the chickens. This is some of our mulch pile in here. It starts off in here with the chickens. There's our big old rooster. Yeah, so the mulch pile starts off in here with the chickens, and then we'll rake this up later and put it in the pit and add leaves and stuff to it. And we'll obviously we put fresh leaves and stuff in here for them to scratch and have fun in. Go to one of the drainage ditches when we clean it out. There's a lot of stuff in there that they like to eat, so we bring it down and put it in here. They have a pick through it first, and then it goes into our mulch pile. Here's more of our grass clippings. It's all long cut grass, like I said, zero lift blades on the mower. And we'll check in here, see if we've got any baby chicks. So here's our hens all looking at us on the nest, getting ready for some baby chicks to appear. And again, this is all repurposed material, except for I had to buy some new 2x4s for the frame. Got the cupboard doors from a thrift store. So I cut this yesterday. I'll probably rake it tomorrow night when I get home from work. This stuff I'm just stockpiling, just raking it up and piling it in one of the sheds, and we'll use it over the next couple of weeks. I'm no expert. I have a hard time telling some of the plants apart. 5 years ago, I hadn't gardened real well. Did a little bit when I was a kid, grew a few tomato plants, but that was about it. So what I'm showing you is what I've learned over the last 5 years. Things that I've learned the hard way, along the way. Things that work for me. Hopefully you'll find something of interest in this, and it'll help you as well.